glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. The sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Vasalut and welcome to the Thursday edition of Liquid Lunch. As you all the regulars here know, that means Thankful Thursday. A lot to be thankful for. Going to get into that in just a moment. But first, let me start by saying not only thank you for being here today, but maybe you guys didn't notice the glitch. There was, let me double check and make sure that my mic is on. So many things went wrong today. First off, I want to say thankful for Netter of Netter's Network. She's here keeping an eye on me, even though she's busy working. She says, like, share, subscribe, become a member, leave a comment, gift a membership if you are feeling particularly generous this holiday season. She came running down here about an hour and 3 minutes ago to say, you're starting a little early today, aren't you? Huh? It's an hour early. Are you doing a 2-hour stream? I'm like, no. I looked at the time and it was only 11. I thought it was noon. So I was like, oops. I brought down the stream, ended it. You guys might not have even noticed. Because I'm sitting here as the opening song is going and I'm looking, I'm going, all right, usually I see Big Alan here and Curtis Selby and a couple others, Netter. Not a single comment. Is it going to be empty today? Everyone stop watching my show? And then Netter comes and she's like, I'm like, oh, oops. Took it down. So we're here now, right? But we are not over on the Green Machine because I blew up that one and I said I'm not restarting it. Rumble is not user friendly, especially when there's a glitch and you have to redo something or whatever. So I just said screw it. I'm just using it as a backup anyway. And exclusively for the karaoke parties, which we will have one coming up this month for Thanksgiving time. Probably make all of my songs in the Thanksgiving, giving thanks, thankfulness, kind of a pattern or whatever. But so thank you, Netter, for keeping me on track and watching out for me. Let me get back to my regulars who were here on time for the actual correctly timed stream, starting with Big Al of Big Al Presents. Happy Thankful Thursday, Liquid Lunchers. Have an awesome show, my friends. Thank you so much, Big Al. And a big old howdy from Curtis Selby. Thank you so much, my friend. Netter also points out that I have a membership drive going. That's absolutely true. I am trying to reach 100 members by the end of the year. But more importantly, I'm trying to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. The more subscribers you get, more eyes you get on your channel. Hopefully enough people like you enough to want to support you and become a member. So membership, of course, means you can support a channel like this. If you're here, presumably you enjoy what I do, and you want me to keep doing it. And for me to keep doing it, I really do need to be able to justify it. So membership absolutely is critical. And there's a lot of other perks too. I do have a member stream that I am planning this month for members, particularly any member can come if they are interested, curious about the streaming process, what I do, the behind the scenes and all. But it's especially good for other YouTube creators or those thinking about getting into it, starting to do some of this YouTubery. Kind of share with you some of the follies and the pratfalls I've gone through, things that I've learned that I wish I knew when I started. And VIP members, I will do one-on-one coaching with you so that you can ask me the questions directly. Let's see. Oh, and of course you can also gift a membership if you're already a member. You could do that too. That is always a very, very thoughtful thing to do, not just for me, but for whoever receives that. Jonathan Conroy says, hail all and smash the like button. Enjoy the show. Hope you absolutely do those things. Nate comes in to say the exact same thing. Like, share, subscribe, comment, become a member. And if you're going to give a super chat of $5 or more, why don't you make that a gifted membership instead and help our family grow? Nate is such a great supporter, always sharing out the streams, even creating his own promos for the channel, one of which will be debuting tomorrow. I'll probably use that on a regular basis going forward. Maybe I'll only use it, to promote the Friday stream. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I decide to use it. The Matrix had a glitch. Watch out for Agent Smith. Yes. Mr. Anderson. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Nate also points out you could gift a membership to Netter's Network while you're at it. Show Netters the love as well. We are a team over here. And oh, look at this. Curtis Selby decided to take you guys up on that, and he did gift a membership. He gifted a membership to Siouxland Stormtrack. Welcome, Siouxland Stormtrack, to a month of membership. Hope you enjoy it enough to want to stick around. Hope you like what you see here. Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Hi, all. Good to see you, Wade. Welcome, welcome. So, no, I don't have an article that I want to go to or anything like that. I want to speak a little bit more generally. But let us start with, and what I'm going to reference is, of course, linked below. I don't like mentioning videos if I don't give you a link so you can go check it out yourself. Previously, I have mentioned channel member and great supporter of the channel, Tim Hayes, did a video very recently again, linked below, where he is doing an unboxing of the Hasbro re-release, update, whatever you want to call it, nostalgia bait play set of the old Sears exclusive Cantina cardboard backdrop thing that they did. He does a review of that and an unboxing, and he gives me a wonderful little shout out in it, kind of promoting a video that I've got coming hopefully in the next week or so, my own video that's a retrospective on Cantina playsets and so forth. It'll probably be the first of two, because that Hasbro one is that's a big boy. It's going to take some time to get out and set up and all of that kind of stuff. But I was so encouraged that he took the time to shout me out in his video, twice actually within the same video. So it would encourage me if you would go check out Tim Hayes' video. Even if you did it yesterday and the day before when I mentioned it, please do it again. More views on a video is always good for the algorithms. And make sure you hit the like button over there. Hit the subscribe button on Tim Hayes. He is getting really close to that magical number, and I'd love to see him, surpass that. That would be encouraging. Together we grow, right, guys? So get over there and subscribe, and then comment the channel. Just say, hey, great video. Troy sent me. Great shout out, whatever. Something to encourage him. Encourage one another daily. That is a good rule to live by. It pays back dividends. It really, really does. And so while I am on that topic, I also have a video listed below that I am thankful for. That also gives me a shout out. He didn't have to do that. Michael French over at Retro Blasting did a video reviewing the recent retro collection. What would you call it? It's the Star Wars, most recent Star Wars retro collection box set. I sent them to him so that he could do the video, and he said, "Hey, do you want any of these back?" And I'm like, it's not necessary, but I wouldn't mind maybe the Sand Troopers, the two Sand Troopers. Well, he sent back all troopers. He sent back the Sand Troopers. He sent back the Rebel Troopers. He sent back the Han Solo in the Stormtrooper gear. I get why he did that. I do. I had sent him from a previous box set of these retros. He had wanted one figure out of all of them. I'm going to get to that in a second. But he wanted the Mon Mothma figure. And I had gotten two box sets because I wanted the troop builders that were in them. I wanted the Imperial Royal Guard, and I wanted the Gamorrean Guard. The Imperial Royal Guard from the original run of Return of the Jedi figures is in every way superior to every updated version that Hasbro has done. You don't need high articulation and plastic molded clothing and all this kind of stuff for the Imperial Royal Guard. 5 points of articulation is perfectly fine for a figure who's just supposed to stand next to a door, holding a pike. And so the cloth goods on it look really good. The head sculpting was always perfect. You can't improve on that. When they finally did put out a new one, it has a removable helmet for some stupid reason. And it just keeps coming off. It's so loose. So anyway, I had wanted, at least two of the Imperial Royal Guard. And I was like, yeah, two Gamorrean Guards would be good too for my sail barge, right? Because I like the idea of some original Gamorrean Guards, some of the newer ones, the ones with the flocked fur on their butts, all that kind of stuff. But but yeah, so he, I assume he was thinking, yeah, he wants the troop builder figures. I'll send him the troop builder figures. And I'm like, that was really nice. But at the same time, I was like, I didn't mean for him to incur any cost to send them back to me. That seems unfair. He shouldn't. After I sent them to him for him to do an unsolicited video, he, whatever money he makes on that video, he's taking out of it to send the figures back to me. I didn't think that was cool, but very, very much appreciated. So I'd love it if you would also go click on that video, give him a like on that video, share out the video, let him know, hey, Troy sent me, and whatever. Let me get back to your comments, because I don't want you to think that I am not thankful for every single one of you being here. Today I went to the doctor's, had nothing bad news, no bad news, but just worried a smidge, but otherwise I'm good. Well, that sounds like something to be thankful for. I think something got lost there in the translation, but it sounds like generally positive. So that sounds like you're thankful for your current health situation. But yeah, prayers for you nonetheless. Why not, right? Hail midday mixologists. You know the drill. Yeah, do all the clicky things. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joe's Atmosphere, who is religious about, figuratively speaking, not literally speaking, about sharing out my streams. I super, super appreciate that. Yeah, this is true, Wade. I think we're finding more and more that many of the health problems we have are food related. So I suppose that's something else to be thankful for. Thankful for the ministrations of Robert Kennedy and how he is focusing on a new food pyramid for us. A lot of people have been saying for a lot of years the food pyramid is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. It's influenced by agricultural companies and food packing companies that want to control how we eat for their profit, not for our health. And the government has been complicit in that, so they're working to change that. Also working to change the way your tax dollars are spent on supplementary assistance to people for food. Getting sick and tired of seeing these TikToks of people, I got my food stamps, and they're going out and buying ding-dongs and ho-hos. For a long time, food stamps, you weren't allowed to buy, for example, alcohol. That was, the stores would not be reimbursed for that, so they could not accept food stamps for alcohol. They need to start doing that for junk food and stuff like that. It needs to be for healthy food. If you don't like it, too bad. Get a job and pay for your own food. This is something that people need to remember. If someone else is footing the bill, someone else gets to make those decisions. You can't talk about my choice, my choice, my choice. It's your choice when you're paying the bill. If you are submitting yourself to someone else's generosity, you don't get to choose. You just say, thank you. That's how it works. I think most everyone that would be here knows that, but there are people clearly that do not. If I did not say, I don't think I said hi to you earlier, Connie. Welcome, Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube at Fluff Chick Productions. Thank you so much for being here. Wonderful Blue Wrench. Super appreciated you sharing the links for me yesterday. That was very helpful. I know that others did as well, because that's why you blue wrenches are awesome. I am thankful today for my blue wrenches as well. Al Gore invented the internet, right? And he invented mathematics. He invented the algorithms, right? Hey, Troy, I'm at work. Well, that's actually a good thing to be thankful for, because you weren't feeling well for the past couple days. So I have to step away for a minute, but like Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. Yes, I'll be back. You be Beethoven. That's a bad one, sorry. Closest thing to Terminator I can find. Yeah, there you go. A robot. Yeah, it's effectively the same thing. I understand, Wade. I am trying to eat more healthy. Yeah. Or, in some cases, eating less. Period. Right? My dad was on food stamps for a couple of years, but he used it for meat, cheese, bread, food. Yeah. That's another thing that Kennedy is working on. He's trying to find a way to... Right now, food stamps specifically benefit big box stores like Walmart. And he's trying to find a way to make it more advantageous to spend your SNAP or whatever you call them, food stamps, just being generic about it, at things like farmers markets, local food producers, right? Support your local food producers. Sustainability, everyone talks about sustainability. That's actually a very good thing. You want a local food source. You want, the local Amish farm and so forth. That's the way to go, because that's where you'll also find your healthiest foods. Look, there is a balance that exists in food between convenience and healthiness, right? Why are foods... one of the things that makes foods incredibly unhealthy is the fact that they have such long shelf lives. They have methods and means, not just chemical means, some of them are natural means, but also unhealthy means to keep these foods fresh. Bread is not supposed to last for weeks. Fresh bread goes moldy within a week. If you don't eat it, it goes bad. You need to throw it out and make new bread. People don't like to be wasteful. People don't like to be making bread all the time. So they want bread that's full of sugars and salts and sometimes preservative chemicals so that it lasts a long, long time. Well, that's great. You've got your convenience. It's also killing you. Is it worth it? Right? Canned foods is a great option, but it also means generally high in salt. I don't think salt is as bad as people think it is, but there is that element. When you see added sugars in things, generally it's there as a preservative. I don't want to get into, a whole side story about that, but it's very true. You would be much better off going to the store on an almost daily basis, buying a small quantity of produce for that day, using it, and then going back again the next day because this way you aren't worried about preservatives. You're eating fresh. Same with meats. Nothing wrong with freezing meats for long periods of time. You see a good deal on ground beef or whatever, that's fine. Freeze it, and then take it out and thaw it and use it as you wish. Even freezing, though, you don't want to keep it too long because sublimation happens. It's what you call freezer burn. It doesn't make it bad. It just makes it taste bad, because all the water comes out of it. It gets chalky and yucky. Anyway, totally off on a tangent here. So I want to say hi to Agent Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf. Ow! Welcome, Charlotte. Good to see you. So glad you're here. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, I'm thankful for Troy for you joking this fun stream. Thank you so much. Yeah. What is? Oh, the Trontastic Journey. Yeah. And it was joining, not joking. Yeah, so Wade is sharing a stream that I was on over on his channel. why don't you go give that a check out? And while you're there, follow him on Rumble. He does a lot more on Rumble than he does on YouTube just because you can do more on Rumble than you can over here, which is why I do the karaoke streams over there. Why a farmer always thanked his wife for what she cooked. If she wasn't cooking, he wasn't working, and the whole farm fell apart. That's a partnership, right? That's how it works. The happiest marriages are the ones where the husband and wife both have their own roles and they are thankful for each other's, doing their part, right? Actually, that is what they're doing. They are no longer allowed to purchase junk food with food stamps. I hope that's true. I'm seeing way too many of those TikToks of, I got my food stamps, and then you see like 3 carts full of ding-dongs and ho-hos. I hope they're getting to the checkout and being told, that you can't do that. I would encourage people, whether you're on food stamps or not, if you are at all interested in this topic, look back at the history of supplemental food assistance from the government in U.S. history. The term government cheese started out very, very literal. So you should look into that. See how that directly impacted the dairy industry and perhaps Velveeta with their whatever that cheese log is that they make now. Way smarter than paying farmers to destroy crops. Yes, exactly. Yeah, don't even that's a whole tangent I don't really want to get off on. Yeah, he meant joining. Yep. You guys got to be careful with that AI, whether it's voice to text or spell check or whatever. Let's face it, that really is the basics of what became Chat GPT. It's not a different concept. It's the same thing, and it makes mistakes. So you gotta pay attention to that before you hit enter. It's actually very easy for the government to allow farmers, markets, and small growers to accept the SNAP benefits. Yes, but what I'm suggesting he's trying to do is not make it mandatory, but make it more incentivized. Not just make it easy, make it preferable. And that might require some negs on the big boxes on the other side. I don't know all the details behind that. I just know that there are plans in the works behind the scenes that I'm not privy to. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds, Oliver Anthony. Well, I'm not going to go that far because even somebody who needs to lose weight still needs to eat, and they still need to eat healthy. What I would encourage is that you put those guardrails in place. No, you can't use it for Doritos. You can only use it for meat, cheese, dairy products, fresh produce, those kinds of things. My local farmer's market does accept EBT. Yeah, I did not know that. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I am very glad to hear that. And I think that they should gain all the benefits of that support. Support those that support you. They're supporting you by taking your EBT. You support them by keeping them in business, And don't forget that when you're off the EBT, make sure you keep going back to that farmer's market, In my youth, my family was on food stamps for an extended period, I assume. But as us kids got older, then started getting jobs part-time and otherwise, we started contributing to the household. Yeah, that's the way it really, really should be. And again, My mom, after her divorce, I can't even begin to explain the situation. The single mother problem is ridiculously amplified when one of the children has special needs. She was literally the poster girl for single mom who could not work. She literally was required to care for my brother 24/7. It was next to impossible to have daycare for him or anything like that. He was severely autistic. So she had no choice. In order to continue to care for him, she needed those kinds of benefits. And she didn't use EBT for 100% of her groceries. What she would do is she would get the staples with the EBT, and then if there was anything she wanted to get, like soda or snacks or something like that, and especially for my brother, she wanted to keep snacks. It's kind of like the reward punishment thing. Give him a treat or whatever from time to time. That didn't go on EBT. Because she had that ability. But anyway, so that we were no longer dependent on it. Exactly. My apologies for bringing up the food topic. No, it's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly good topic. Actually, you didn't. You just brought up the health issue, and it was Curtis Selby who brought up the food. But that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind getting off topic. It's absolutely worth it for me. But this is a good pivot point so that I can go ahead and play the abbreviated promos, let you know some of the other things that are coming up this week that aren't in the promos, and then we'll get to my last point of gratitude in just and how I'm hungry. There's the downside, right? We're talking about eating healthy, but now you're getting hungry. Be careful, my friend. Let me get you those promos real quick, and we'll be right back on the other side while I refill my glass.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, a traveling bushman who encounters modern civilization and its stranger aspects, including a clumsy scientist and a band of revolutionaries. A brush with modern innovation has hilarious and poignant repercussions in The Gods Must Be Crazy, this Saturday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netter's Network.
In a world where nearly all the entertainment is remakes, reboots, and rehashes of older properties, maybe it's worth it to get some commentary from people who experienced it all when it was novel and fresh. Catch Boomer and Pacelli on Geeky Geezers every Sunday night at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
This week, on Last Call Presents The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, a gentleman is baffled when the childish drawings of little dancing men terrify his American wife. Sherlock Holmes soon discovers why. It's the dancing men. This week on Last Call Presents, Tuesday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
Thank you, Nate. He points out that people like my mom in that situation is why things like SNAP exist, but not for lazy individuals who don't want to work and live off the government. Well, and here is the other thing. Not all single moms are made equal, right? I mean, like I said, my mom was in a very specific circumstance where she had a child who could not care for himself and never would be able to care for himself, right? Whereas most other single mothers have children who are able to take care of themselves to a degree, and in an increasing degree as they get older, right? So, for example, Netter's mom was a single mom, but she had older kids that were completely self-sufficient. My mother could count on me to some degree to help her with my brother, but it couldn't be my full-time job if I was going to keep going to school, getting an education, take care of myself ultimately. Netter is the youngest of her siblings, and even she, when her parents split up, even as a young girl, still was capable of taking care of herself, being home alone for a good part of the day, learning to get around on her own. Now, it was a different time, yes, that's true, but I think a lot of people have stories like that, having a single mom and contributing to the house. That teaches you the responsibility if you're doing it right. If you're not doing it right, you are teaching your kids to be dependent, continue to be dependent, be lazy. There is a theory that the whole idea of welfare and the push for welfare, especially in the years after the Civil War, was just basically a way to keep the population, the newly freed population, subservient and effectively continuing to be slaves, just slaves by a different title. So, just saying. Now a slavery of your own choice. Just saying. But there you go. And I think that brings us to, I like to point out that I don't generally get super political on this channel. And when I do, I tend to speak in generalities. But it does bring me to something that I am also quite thankful for. Let me see what Curtis just said here. I do get upset with people being on Snap, but when I don't get upset with people being on Snap, but when 3 generations are on it, yes, there is the problem. That is the immediate problem, right? When it becomes generational, and that's a dependency. That is the dependency I was talking about. That is the modern plantation, is another way of putting it. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about was a certain gratitude that I have for insight, and I don't mean my own, insight from other sources that I look to for guidance. And why would I look to other sources for guidance? Because of humility, right? Humility is so crucial. If you're not religious, that's fine, but just understand that the tenets of Proverbs, what is considered sin and what is considered noble by the Bible is just a great guideline for life, right? Secularists have studied Scripture over the years and found a great deal of value in it. You can get caught up in the spiritual elements of sin, cutting you off from God, pleasing God, wanting to go to heaven, not wanting to go to hell, all these kinds of things. But when you really get down to what is considered sin, it's less about where you're going after death and pleasing an almighty God, so much as having the best life you can possibly have in this world. When you start examining and thinking it out, the things that are considered sin have negative repercussions within your own life. And we see it play out with people around us. You guys are all upset about the woke and pride parades and trannies doing story time for kids and stuff like that. All of that is the sin of lust just being taken to an extreme. When you let these things go in your society, that's the cancer that it breeds. And it happens to the individual as well. It destroys relationships. You know, I mean, the cheating spouse, right? I think everybody knows about that. Well, that's what happens when the vice of lust, and you know what? I'm going to say it, pride. Thinking you deserve, because you are, first person, the star of your own story. You're the most important. You think you have some kind of plot armor. You get some sort of pride. You can get away with it. You don't owe anything to anybody. Well, it comes back to bite you. And I think we're starting to see a lot of that, if we're really objective and paying attention, in our leadership. And you can point at the other side of your political aisle, the side that you, whichever side you affiliate yourself with, and you could say those people. But if you're truly intellectually honest, you'll look at your own side of the aisle and go, but yeah, the politicians on my side are a problem too. They are full of hubris. I mean, I hate to cite it, but there's no better way to say it.
Sheer fucking hubris.
It is literally what I see every time I look at the current administration. I'm sorry. Even the guy I voted for, that I do claim to support, don't agree with him 100%. He has made a lot of mistakes because he's listening to all the wrong people. He's listening to donors. He's listening to sycophants. He is listening to people blowing smoke up his ass because he's buying his own adverts. That's a problem. So what am I thankful for? Not for these prideful individuals that cause problems. I'm thankful for humility, because that's the way you combat pride. That was Benjamin Franklin's thought. The teachings of Jesus and Socrates, he felt, would lead you to your best life. It's just the truth. I mean, he observed something that was evident. Not to take anything away from Benjamin Franklin. He was a very insightful man, but sometimes it takes a great deal of wisdom to see the obvious, right? Having said that, he was chasing skirts up to his 80s. Yeah. Nobody's perfect, right? Nobody is perfect. If I say something that is true, and you see that as hypocritical because I'm not practicing what I preach, then you are falling victim to an ad hominem attack in your own mind. You're saying, I will not accept the truth of what he's saying because he's not living up to it. Look, it doesn't matter who says the truth. The truth is still true. If I preach something to you and there's wisdom in it and it's true, even if I fall short of it, you should still pay attention to it. Ignore it at your own detriment, right? The other side is always evil. My side is always wonderful. And therein lies the hubris, right? The humble side. I wasn't thinking about it, but I basically just modeled it. I said, I'm not perfect. I may tell you something and fall short. I was finding, a commonality with Benjamin Franklin there. But as long as you maintain that and realize that you're not perfect, it keeps you grounded, right? And sometimes you need a Gibbs slap upside the head to say, hey, you're not all that in a bag of chips. Get your head out of your ass and pay attention. You're not right on this one, one of my favorite politicians did some things that always exasperates me lately. Yeah, exactly. Be careful, Curtis. They canceled Gina for saying the same thing. There you go. See, the truth is offensive to liars and miscreants. That's why there's so many people that say, I feel like I'm upsetting all the right people. You know? While a guy on the other side, in my honest opinion, demonstrated humility and open-mindedness. Yeah, you talking about Fetterman? Fetterman is... I have a weird history with Fetterman. First, a lot of people think that we look alike. And for a long time, Mark Malnikoff was referring to him as my dark reflection, the mirror universe version of me, because shortly after his stroke, he was saying a lot of party line towing stupidity. And as time has gone by and he's recovered from that stroke, and it's very clear that he is, his words are his own now, I look back and I go, has he changed? Or were other people speaking for him back then? Were they trying to do to him what they did to the president back then? Maybe the real John Fetterman is a more populist liberal than I had previously given him credit for. And the future of the Democratic Party, if it wants to continue, they need to start embracing their own liberal populist base. And I see that civil war happening right now in the Democratic Party. It's becoming a civil war between the more rational populist liberals and the far leftist socialists. It could divide the party, and it would probably be for the best. I don't want to see the Democratic Party completely fall apart. Or completely become socialist, right? There needs to be an outlet for populist liberals. And they shouldn't have to become Republicans to do that. But that might be the common ground. More Tulsi Gabbards coming over to the Republican Party, maybe, and maybe pushing the GOP more towards populism as well. We'll see. We'll see what comes. Hive minds of both sides, or be punished by algorithms. Yeah, that's true. Resolute Germ, respectfully, called me out for something on my channel the other day. I looked it up. Turns out he was right and I was wrong. I have no idea who Resolute Germ is. I'll have to look into that channel. Speaking of which, mechpo! WTF, I almost missed the stream, but here I are. Like, share, subscribe, and become a member. Yeah, I was just talking about you, Mark, and the whole Fetterman Mirror Universe thing. No, Troy, you are way more Klingon than Fetterman. Well, admittedly so. That is true. That is true. And speaking of, we were talking about Michael French earlier. He recently gave me a little a private shout out on Patreon regarding honesty and loyalty and, honor, which I derive from my Klingon side. I called him the anti-Troy before the stroke. Yes, see, that's what I was talking about. Now he's starting to sound more and more like me, because we're finding our common ground in populism, he and I. Like he even knows who the hell I am. Socialism sucks, just like the Federation. Yeah, there you go. There you go, my friends. And this is why I'm so thankful, because you guys make me laugh. Even things that aren't so positive, you guys can make me feel a bit of humor about. But anyway, let me get back to this political thing. I have another video. It's the first video I have listed below, but it's the last one I'm talking about today. By the channel Monsieur Z. It's basically a socio-political deep dive channel. Looks a lot at history and to some degree modern politics. And I'm going to kind of do a little spoiler here in setting up what I'm talking about here. But he starts out by describing what sounds like he's talking about modern day, where he's talking about mass immigration and, deep divides between the political spheres and, economic issues and all these things. And it's like he's talking about today. He goes, just to be clear, I'm talking about the post-Civil War Reformation era. And that's where he kind of backs up and says, see, and then he starts talking about how these kinds of things come in cycles. The thumbnail for the video implies the end of the United States. And it's like, we've been here before, and we've managed it. And he takes us through the Reformation. He takes us through a lot of the history that led us to where we are. And I've always said you get a much greater insight to what's going on when you pay attention to history and draw correlations. Now, he's also quick to point out that it's not a one-to-one relationship. There are differences, but there's still insight to be had and how things could be changing, potentially in a good way for our country, but yes, potentially in a bad way. Great insight. And if you have, as I like to believe I do, enough humility to look at it and go, okay, let me see what you have to say here. Oh, okay. And be objective and take it in. Don't fall into the trap of saying, okay, this is the absolute truth. I know it now, because that's a kind of pride too. Always be open to other perspective, other points of view, right? I want to go back to what Curtis was saying too. Be open to your critics. When they come and they give you crap, try very hard to look past how they're saying it and look at what they are saying. Is there merit to what they are saying? They could be a complete ass in the way they're saying it, but is there still truth in it that you should be paying attention to? Because it's always your critics that will help refine you, right? The abrasive, corrosive element of sandpaper makes wood nice and smooth, right? And refines it, right? Polish on metal is abrasive, but it smooths it out and perfects it. As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. So always be open to listening to your critics. Never buy into your own hype. As a certain resident on Pennsylvania Avenue may be doing right now. Remember that pride goeth before a fall. And guard yourself against that. That's what humility is for. Look at the senator who was, her and her cousin were murdered by another Democrat who didn't like the fact that she voted with Republicans. So that's civil wars. Yeah, that's the other thing too. The left has a violence problem that they really need to quit fostering with their rhetoric and start addressing directly. Antimatter ratio 1-to-1, just like politics. Imbalance is Yeah, exactly. You need at least one critic on your team. A team of nothing but yes men leads to failure. So, getting back to the current administration, this is what I said was I felt the genius going into this administration of reaching out to Robert Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard. He reached out to people that would have been his opponents, finding a common ground and making them part of the team. Where is he going wrong? By marginalizing them now. He needs to be listening to Tulsi Gabbard a whole lot more and listening to swampy Susie Wild a whole lot less. Susie Wild is like, what is that character in Tolkien? Wormtongue? Whispering in his ear. You're so popular. You're so right. You know what you're doing. Don't let them bully you. If you are the leader of the greatest army in the world, you could destroy their country. Don't take any shit from them. Why? Because she's a statist. Because she's a warmonger. Because she's a war whore. Because she is a representative of the military-industrial complex. But the people that voted for him want no wars, no foreign wars. Get out of foreign affairs. We don't need to put ourselves between Ukraine and Russia. We don't need to put ourselves between Gaza and Israel. They're not our problems. Get out of them. Focus on our problems. Wormtongue, that's what it was. Thank you. Thank you. That's who Swampy Susie Wild is. And her sidekick, pay for play, Pam Bondi. Oh, it's on her desk. Yeah, her desk is a frickin' black hole, right? I just saw a video. I follow a lot of 2A channels. The legislature just signed a resolution, sent it to Pam Bondi. It's on her desk right now. They want her to get rid of the NRA, or not the NRA, to get rid of the background checks on guns and the fees and stuff like that. That agency, those gun grabbers in the government. It's on her desk, right? Right next to the Epstein files, which don't exist anymore, right? Pam Bondi. Pam Blondie. Barbie. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. You can't reason intelligently if you're full of pride. If you think you already have the right answer, you can't see the possibility that you might be wrong. So you stop looking, right? Yeah, we'll talk more about critical thinking and deductive and inductive reasoning on Tuesdays as we go through the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Putting something on Bondi's desk is like tossing an item out of the holodeck. Yeah, it just disappears, right? Loses cohesion. Yeah, Pam Bondi is my biggest criticism for the cabinet picks. No, she's not as bad as Swampy Susie Wild, but she is a good indicator of the way Trump thinks, right? His SCOTUS pick, right? Amy Coney Barrett, right? I swear he chooses women because they're attractive. That's the only reason. Much, much to his detriment. I don't know. If everybody on your side are kissing your ass, you will end up surrounded by shit-faced people. Yeah, You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today and sharing my gratitude for so many things. Check out those links below, those 3 videos. Go give them a like, give them a subscribe, let them know I sent you. Even Monsieur Z, who, you know, has absolutely no clue who I am. Why not? You know? Definitely make sure you subscribe to Tim Hayes, share out his video, so that we can hopefully get him to the magic number of 500 subscribers sooner than later. Okay, guys, later tonight, Netters Network, she and I will be just kind of chatting with you guys, kind of like we did today. Why not? It's fun. I like talking to you guys. And, of course, tomorrow, I'll tell you what I'll be sipping on Friday's Last Call, where we're going to do a little bit of a post-mortem on the JJ Trek Kelvinverse. Looking forward to it. I'm going to drink heavily. Take care, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye now.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.